In this video, we saw some basic workflows of PIComposer. First, we log in. When you log into basically the workspace, and workspace lists all the projects, and that's where you create them also. Next, we're going to go into the project, and inside project, you see all the model that we have. Next, we're going to create a model for what we're going to do. So here, so when you activate the model creation command, you can see all the spatial templates in the system. And these are the templates you could create yourself. Now I'm going to create a 3-story building. So I'm going to use this template. And I will give it a name. So I click on the template and I activate it, basically execute the template and create me a model. Okay, next let's go into the model we just created. So now you can see we had an IC project with 3 stories. Now let's add some building elements to the stories. So let's do a slab with a, say, surface geometry, just to show that how you compose points and stuff. And we will do this from scratch. So here, add child, and IFC slab. You could also use the drop down to choose the types, but the number is quite large, and it's easier to just type it in if you know what you want. So here let's do a surface and face surface, and we say okay, and it's created. Now let's look at what the slabs looks like. So we select that, and you can see it on the detail tree to the right. And let's make more space, and here we go. So this is basically a slab with all these attributes, and you see the shape node there. Now we had chose in our UI to show the shapes and the instance themselves together. So the shapes, all the shape files and the instance, they actually reside in different documents. But then we selected to do this and we show this. So if you have property, for example, you could choose to show them all together with the instance themselves, and you could actually work with all of that stuff together. So let's go inside and take a look at what they look like. Okay, so this is the shape, and we're gonna, so it created the surface model, and it also created the shells, but that's the extent that it can do. We need to add the faces and other details to it in order for it to be a complete object. So let's add the face. So we want to add a square face. So let's add one face, and it should be an IFC face instead of advanced face. We say okay. So now we have the face. Now we need a bound, right? We need an outer bound for our face. So we're going to add the face bound, and this is outer bound. Say okay. So we had listed outer bound down here. So here's our bound. So bound is basically a loop, as you can see from the hint there. So we need to create a loop. So we create an IFC loop, and we're going to have a poly loop, because we're going to do a rectangular thing. Now the rectangle requires a bunch of points, right? So you can see that. So we're going to add 4 points to create our square. So we have 4. So now we just created our points. Now the points themselves, they are empty. All the coordinates are not created yet, because our system actually don't know how many coordinates you want. So you just create basically a list there, an empty list, and then you need to add the coordinates to it. So that's what we're going to do next. So we say add. We're going to add many. So 3, and we're going to do this for all 4 points. So when you add these coordinates, they're all defaulted to 0, and we need to fill in the details. So that's what we're going to do next. So we're going to create a loop that goes, let's say, from the bottom right corner to the upper right corner to the left upper corner to the bottom lower corner. So we're going to add those coordinates right now. So it's going to be, let's say, minus 2000. So these are in millimeters, 2000. So this will be the wait. Oh, no, we want this positive and this negative. So this would be a lower right-hand corner. And we do this. So we have the points that are going counterclockwise with the coordinates that would be a a square of length 4 meters. We need the orientation to say that it's going counterclockwise, and we can save that. And then let's now we could actually preview what this thing looks like. And so we saw 3D, and voila, there it is. Now next, I'm gonna show how you would do this with adding things with templates. So we can add, let's add a column, FC column, and the shape we're gonna. So this is add template. So let's choose a template. Let's say we want a rectangular extrude. So the rectangular extrude, that with that symbol, that signify that it's a parametric or transform template, and we're gonna, okay, for a column we need this to be smaller. Let's say 200. This would be taller. 2000, say 2 meters, and we hit OK, and we should have our columns, and take a look at it. So you can see that it's an extrude. Now let's try to copy these guys to each floor. So we go copy. So we copy this slab and then paste it to the second floor and third floor, and then copy the column. Second floor, third floor. Now let's see what the model looks like. So you can see 3D, and voila, that's how it looks like. And so the column doesn't quite reach the bottom of the slab, so let's change that. And let's see here, column. Let's get 200 here. So what happened is when you're doing copy and paste, the geometry that is created is actually it's a mapped item. When you change one of, you could change it in any of the columns, and it will change it for all of them. Let's see what it looks like again. And well, it's, we need to go up a little bit more, but you can see that it's the difference is a little bit smaller now. So that's it for today.